Greetings, all you phenomenal human beings who are worthy of love. It is me, Dr. Reed, giving you what you need. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Hope you're taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's week 15 here in AIS 335 here at Cal State Pavungna, the Gabrielino Tongva word for the great gathering place. Invitation, not an obligation. I want you to sit up nice and tall, taking the deepest breath of you've had all day, breathing in some love. Exhaling some. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about our videos, going to talk about our readings, going to talk about where we are in the course. Your infographic is due this week as well too. Now, it's a one-page either collage of pictures, an infographic where it's a combination of some pictures and some words, or if you want to do a memorandum or a memo and just do all words, however you best express yourself, however you're best, you're going to be able to see this document a semester, a year, 5 years, 10 years from now, looking back on this learning experience and say, what was it that I wanted to take away? What were some things that stood out to me? What were some that spoke to me physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? So grateful to have each and every one of you here. Skanago, which means, are you with peace? I am with peace. Grateful to have you all here. We are week 15. We are continuing along with the words of John Trudell, a phenomenal human being who has spoken at Cal State Long Beach, spoken at UCLA, and as noted by some of our classmates, there are words that continue to be very, very important, very pertinent, very relevant, even though they were said sometimes a couple decades ago. So powerful leader here. So continue on listening to John Trudell, looking forward to seeing your reactions here. He talks about modern humans are walking dead, mining our minds for the machine. John Trudell with this question, I'm crazy. A conversation with John Trudell, power is in your heartbeat, religious versus spiritual perception of reality, identity crisis and mining of the minds again. John Trudell on Leonard Peltier, who is a political prisoner who has been since 1977, known to be the longest political prisoner, to my understanding, who is currently a political prisoner in United States history, being it's now 46 years, is now 2023. And Leonard Peltier at any time could be pardoned, could be granted clemency by the president and be walking free, as he is accused of a crime which we know he did not do. So different Freedom of Information Acts and information have shown that the different ballistic tests, that there was withheld information showing that the bullets did not match the gun. So we know for a fact that Leonard Peltier did not commit the crime to which he is serving in prison for, and yet he still is in prison to this day. So educate yourselves on that. Talking about all there is to it at the live at Farm Aid in 93, and it was replaced. So take a moment to watch those videos as well. We're continuing on with our readings as edited in the book by Ann Waters as we continue on here in this book, American Indian Thoughts. And we are now week 15, so you're gonna be turning in your infographic this week. So be sure to get that done. If you have any questions, do let me know. But it's just this reflection on what you've learned this semester, graded on accuracy and the content and the effort you put forth. Creativity is encouraged. If you want to draw something yourself, it could be one picture, it could be a combination of pictures, but really it's just looking forward to what do you get, what are you resonating with, what are you reflecting on that's giving you value that you think that you want to remember for time to come. So you're reading part 5, part 6 and part 7, getting near the end of this book here as well too. I think week 16 we'll be reading part 8. So continue on here. Be sure to watch the videos, and then that one-page infographic, be sure to turn that in. It's on the discussions board on Beachboard, and you can scroll down past the different weeks and you'll see the infographic where you can upload it there. Looking forward to seeing you all in our weekly community peacemaking circle, here referred to as a talking circle, but really tying it back to that Haudenosaunee values of peacemaking and the original peacemaker in Hiawatha in 1142, which we know is this date because of a solar eclipse in the oral tradition. The solar eclipse only happens certain times. What would happen over Victor, New York, or as referred to in the Seneca as Ganadagan. Okay, people, that's week 15. If you have any questions, do let me know. We still have some extra things here in the lecture to add on to as well too. This first one being this notion of volition and will. I know a couple weeks ago in the community peacemaking circle, we talked about this idea of where do you envision yourself in a year and 10 years from now. In this book from the Sacred Tree, it's from different elders across what we call Turtle Island, and they came together, and you can see this kind of tube here. It reminds me if anyone's ever seen the film Donnie Darko. It's like this kind of it's like this visual manifestation of where your spirit and where your physical body is progressing and going through time. So I just wanted to share the words here from the elders from the Sacred Tree, saying we gain a vision of what our potential is from our elders and from the teachings of the Sacred Tree. By trying to live up to that vision and by trying to live like the people we admire, we grow and develop. Our vision of what we can become is like a strong magnet pulling us toward it. So you have that physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, that magnet of volition taking you on this vision. And volition is detailed here as we can use volition, i.e. our will, to help us develop the 4 aspects of our nature. Volition is the force that helps us make decisions and then act to carry out those decisions. We can learn to exercise our volition by carrying out each of its 5 steps: attention or concentration, goal setting, initiating the action, perseverance, and completing the action. Since volition is a primary force in developing all of our human potentialities, it is placed at the center of the medicine wheel. So I want to share with you all is that as we think about the future, and I know sometimes when we have anxiety, it's easy to think about worst case scenarios, but I would challenge each and every one of you now to what if the best case scenario, what if that was to take place as well too? And what we manifest, what we think about, the energy we put forth into the universe. Part of the Haudenosaunee for our what's considered this great law of peace. One of the laws is that you must enjoy your life. That is one of the laws of responsibilities for the Haudenosaunee people, for my relatives and my ancestors. And as John Trudell talks about, that we are DNA. We are descendants, now ancestors. That someday people will be looking back on us as descendants. And what did we do with our time here? What did we speak about? How did we act in a way that made a world better for generations to come? So another thing I want to share with you all here, this is some notions from this book called Sisters in Spirit. It was put forth in 2011. I think this is a powerful book in the idea of outlining the differences between Haudenosaunee and Euro-American beliefs, philosophies, ways of looking at life. Let's look here at the social. For the Haudenosaunee, children are members of the mother's clan, and European American children are the sole property of fathers. Haudenosaunee, violence against women, not part of culture and dealt with seriously when it occurs. European American, husbands have legal right and religious responsibility to physically discipline wives. This is from a colonial mindset from like around the birth of our country, birth of the United States. Haudenosaunee, clothing fosters health, freedom of movement, and independence. Euro-American clothing is restrictive, unhealthy, and dangerous. Haudenosaunee, women's responsibilities have a spiritual basis. Women's subordination has a religious foundation for the European American. Looking here for spiritual, for the Haudenosaunee, Sky Woman is a spiritual being, catalyst for the world we see. For the European American spiritual beliefs, no female in the Godhead. For Haudenosaunee, Mother Earth and women spiritually interrelated. Spiritual for Euro-American, spirituality not connected to the earth. Spirituality for Haudenosaunee, women have responsibilities in ceremony. For European American spirituality, women forbidden to speak in churches. For Haudenosaunee, responsibilities in balance with those of men. And for European American, responsibilities subordinate to men's authority. And lastly, here we're looking at economic perspectives and philosophies. For Haudenosaunee, work satisfying, done communally. Economic for European American, work drudgery and isolated. Haudenosaunee, responsible for agriculture as well as home life. European American, responsible for home, but subordinate to husband. Haudenosaunee, work done under the direction of the women working together. European American, work done under authority of the husband. For Haudenosaunee, each woman controls her own personal property, and European American colonial values, no rights to her own property, body, or children. So just some different perspectives here, as often I feel like in what is considered the genocide, which is the purposeful destruction of a peoples or cultures and the erasure of native peoples here, I think oftentimes it's easier when people view native peoples as primitives, as savages, as less than, as dehumanizing. It makes it easier. But when really you look at the Haudenosaunee people, you look at native peoples, you see this deep, profound spiritual ideas and economic and social ideas that are really profound and were really well ahead of their colonial counterparts, particularly when it came to the rights of women. We look in here at that book, Sisters in Spirit, and that many of these different people, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and others, that they're really huge, that they were hugely influential in the women's rights movement for women's suffrage, get women the right to vote. The idea that these people were, many of them were giving voting rights first as Haudenosaunee people, and recognizing that they valued these women, the Haudenosaunee valued these women and their rights. Okay, people, last couple of books here, some freebies for you. As you know, I do appreciate learning and reading, and I hope you do too. A couple of books if you're learning about philosophy, and if you're curious about its interrelation to Marvel, this book here, Doctor Strange and Philosophy, pretty interesting, referencing some of the comic books and referencing the movies. Again, not a whole lot of perspectives of the native philosophy, but it'd be interesting reading that with that lens of what we've been talking about this semester from Chief Warren Lyons, Vine Deloria Jr., Winona LaDuke, John Trudell, and others. Another one, Batman and Philosophy as well too. Pretty interesting to spend thumbing through these as well, as I appreciate How do we understand what we understand? How do we come to know what we know? Why do we believe what we believe? So that being said, people, yes, I'm talking to you. You're a human being who is worthy of love. I hope you take care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We're getting close to the end of the semester here. Don't break down before the breakthrough. I am grateful for you. Whatever you're going through, you can do it. I look forward to checking in with you all on the community peacemaking circle. Check out this week for our prompt on our group me. With that being said, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. In the words of the Truman Show. And I want to say Yawanko Ganalunkwa Unugiwa means thank you, I love you, until next time, Oneida. Take care of yourselves out there, people. Reach out to me if you have any questions. All the best.